What went wrong with the Guard today? What held you back?
We didn't play up to expectations. I think Paper X came out, they had a good game plan, and they came out and punched us in the mouth. We made some adjustments, and we honestly thought that they would try to counter those adjustments, and they just kept doing what they were doing, repeatedly over and over, and it caught us off guard. Again, we came out really slow in this match. I think our nerves are really getting to us. This is our first international experience against some of these teams, and Paper X is a great team. They outplayed us. They played well. Jing was a monster today. We lost 3 or 4 pistols. They outplayed us. The one pistol we did win, we got Hiko the very next round. They played incredibly well. They were very, very impressive, but it does really suck to, not play up to your potential and know what you're capable of until it's too little too late. We started to come back on Haven, but it just wasn't enough at that point. And, we got outplayed, outgunned. We got stomped today, plain and simple.
You mentioned there that jitters got to you. I mean, Trent mentioned it yesterday in his interview. I know you've been trying to implement things like breathing exercises and trying to help players with that. Moving forward, what sort of things have you learned there? What are you going to change?
I think we need to change our pre-match rituals and things like that. When we were in Texas and together and everything, we would drive to the facility. We would also play much earlier in the day. I don't know if that's really affecting us that much, but the circumstances here are a bit weird because of COVID. Typically we would go get food together, we hang out together, we go get ready together, we warm up together, we listen to music, we get in the right state of mind and things like that, and then we'd be able to go into the match. And I think some of the lack of things like that, of people being out of their comfort zone, whether it's the food differences or little things like that, it adds up over time. When we were coming in today, I just felt like a couple of the guys didn't have the right energy. I was pretty concerned and tried my best to do certain things, but I was worried from the start today, honestly, about one of the guys, and I just we need to change some of the pre-match rituals and things we do, and be more serious at times, and things like that going into practice to prepare for when we play these teams that you give them an inch, they take a mile, and that's all that matters in this match. That little bit of missteps over and over is what cost us both games.
There's been some talk about the coaching setup at this tournament as well. Obviously, coaches have been separate from the teams. Do you think that had an impact at all?
Not today. No. Yesterday, before the first match, maybe. I was not aware they would start the match as quick as they did yesterday. Typically, I talk to the team and try to calm them down before match starts, remind them of simple protocols or counters or antis right before we start, so it's fresh in their mind. And yesterday, I didn't get to do that. Today, I made sure I was back there with enough time, and no. The coaching setup didn't matter. The only thing that could have been better for me is to be able to see body language a little bit more in terms of watching the players to see, we have some guys that show visible frustration or emotional when they get too emotional and stuff, and being able to see that. But that's not really, that could have been an excuse because it's been the same online. It would have been nice to sit behind the guys to be able to see them for that, but it's no excuse. The coaching setup was fine. The thing we had to switch POVs was a bit weird, and it was almost like a light up board that you just hit the keys on. It was a little odd, but the coaching setup was great. I don't really have many complaints about that, honestly. The setup and everything was not why we lost today or led to anything like that.
You've come here and it's been a disappointing result, but on the other hand, you guys have come so far in the last 4 months. Is there an element of pride that's still there within your team?
I hope so. I think the biggest thing is I feel like it's shell shock. None of it really hit us until we got here in terms of the guys, and I think it hit us hard. I don't even think, they potentially realized how special this run was, even though, we disappointed at the end. We didn't live up to the fans' expectations, even though let alone we didn't even live up to our own. And that's the most important thing. I worry about the guys because this is always going to be a what if now. Guys are going to get in their head about it, and I'm concerned. And I think it's important to remember, just because we failed here doesn't mean we failed getting here. That's going to be the thing we're going to have to preach going forward, because we did fail here, and that's okay. And hopefully we can use that for the next time to not make the same mistakes, or be more ready if we can qualify to another one of these. So it's a learning experience. You either win or you learn, and I'm pretty big on that. So we will be able to use this to go back and look and see different things we did wrong. But I feel like a lot of the things we did wrong were we were really timid. We didn't play our style. We didn't play aggressive or together or things like that until it was too late. And whenever you hesitate and things like that, you really can't learn because you don't know what would have happened. So it's going to be rough watching these, but I really hope that the guys remember everything leading up to this, even though this was a disappointing result.
Just in terms of the preparation and the general mentality, how are you going to look to fix that on, I suppose, a practical level?
I think it's little things. Trent listens to music while he plays. obviously wasn't allowed to do that at this tournament, where it's like, if you're used to, kind of vibing, that's something we need to change in practice. In terms of valyn or like getting ready, we need to have the same. We have one of the weirdest things that, Saya has the box, which we accommodated for. Jake has always played, certain level desk, so he was kind of uncomfortable because we didn't have a adjustable desk, so we're using, multiple mouse pads and people are a little uncomfortable. And I think we need to go back to really standard setups so that when we come to LAN, we don't need these different things to make us feel comfortable. And I think that's going to be something that, the guys learned pretty hard here. And, we talked about it before coming in and, we didn't believe it. It's like, oh, no, they'll have adjustable desks. Oh, no, they're going to have monitor mounts. But it's like, anytime you don't have those and we play when we need those, like, obviously it's going to affect the guys. But going forward, I think you're going to see a lot of our guys switch back, except for Saya, because the box, like, Saya played, pretty well overall for the full tournament. Little things like that. I think guys are going to have to get used to playing on more normalized setups and just being ready to sit down and play. For the most part, we warm up for, 30 minutes of DM before our first scrim. And, we're used to playing warm-up scrims before matches. So it's like, maybe we need to practice going straight into matches and getting used to not having the warm-up because here we have, 5-10 minutes set up, warm-up, and then, we're starting matches. So there's a lot of things that online we do that we don't get to do at LAN. And I think it might have affected us more than, we thought or I thought it would. So we're definitely going to have to talk about that after.
Then talk about the format as well. You guys obviously qualified straight into the playoffs. Would you prefer to have had some sort of group stage play beforehand?
I don't think it would have mattered. I could very well see the same result happening if we started in groups, honestly. I think there'd be less pressure is the big thing. And, we definitely felt the pressure. So it could have helped us, but we very easily could have been, we play in a group with Xerxia. Like, if Optic and us were switched, we have to play Xerxia, we have to play, Crew, and then Xerxia again. Paper Rex beat Xerxia. And, Paper X put us down today. Optic beat these teams and, we could have taken Optic. So it's like, maybe if there's less pressure, we could have got it under our feet more in matches. But like, I don't know if it would have made a difference. I think the thing that's going to make the difference is for the next time. The guys understand the level of the teams that we're playing. And, we can't misstep at all. They punish us way too hard in terms of a lot of things. And that's something that hasn't happened to us as much.